Good morning, investors. Welcome to the 8th of September 2014 market review. Looking at the Dow Jones, that's the American markets, they closed on Friday 67 points positive on a level of 17,137 points, close to this previous highs here of 17,140 points. Job figures were not good. And what happened is the market is glad that interest rates could be happening on the American markets maybe later in 2015. So there's a lot of speculation about this interest rates that's actually helping the market to go up and down and making a lot of volatility in the market. On Friday there was a ceasefire agreement between Russia and Ukraine, and the signed and markets liked that news, but the weekend non-stop fighting still occurred in parts of Ukraine that caused a bit of unsettlement in the markets as well. And you could see the US futures or the Dow futures for Monday morning expecting to be down about 28 points on the opening at 3:30 this afternoon. Big data that will be due this week on the American markets will be the retail figures on Friday. Please take note of that. But looking at the chart, sideways pattern, testing the highs and the lows, and you can actually see what effect it will have on the JSE as well, on the top 40 shares. And as you can see, look at this ups and downs. Now we did Thursday did well, and Friday we came a bit down, so there's a lot of volatility in the markets. And you can actually look at your gold prices as well. 1260, then it's 1275. So the traders, the bulls are trying to get in and the bears are pushing it down, and everybody's working on this news. There's a lot of volatility due to this Ukraine and Russia movement at this moment. Looking at the J200, still under, we could expect a bit of a downward movement this morning, but let's see how the market opens at 8:50 on the top 40 futures. Looking at some shares, ShopRite, I'm going to call up a Bollinger Band here. Tested this 150 level, didn't break that 150 level as expected, and if it needs to really move up, it needs to break this 151 Rand 60 level upwards. Now currently I'm changing my moving averages to a 10 and a 20 day to see where the volatility in the market is going to be, not using the 3 and 8 day moving averages anymore in this volatility market, but rather the 10 and 20 to confirm if there's really breakups and movements going up or breakdowns going down. So where the green crossed the red, the green is the 10 day moving average, the red is the 20 day moving average. I will rather use those moving averages at this time for buying opportunities. If it breaks down, green goes through red down, that could be a selling opportunity. But as you can see, the green and red is getting closer. Looking at Mr. Price, the blue line, share price trading above the green line, still showing a bit of positiveness. The only time I will get concerned if it starts to break the green line, the 10 day moving average downwards, or when you get a cross on the 10 and 20, then I will see basically where it will go, but it's still positive there. Woolies, yes, the 21 and 89 day moving average, there's a movement going upwards there, so low, high, lower, high, low. I'm going to change this to a 10 day moving average so you can actually see where it's standing at this moment, and you can see I'm just using the 10 and 20 exponential moving averages. Now the green crossed the red up here, so there could be a bit of a movement happening for Woolies going up here. But let's look at the indications, a bit toppish, a lot of volatility in the market. Looking at the banks, Barclays Bank had a high, came down on Friday, late afternoon, sideways pattern, currently testing the high of almost 177, trading at 175 in the short term. So let's see where that will move us. Then I will go to Standard Bank. Now Standard Bank is still trading here in a sideways pattern for me. I'm going to call up the Bollinger Bands. Look at this, tested the Bollinger Band here in 141, came a bit down. If it needs to break, next high is about 142, but there's a bit of a downward cycle happening here. Calling up the moving averages of 21, 89 and 200, testing the short-term moving average. If it needs to break up, it needs to break this red line here, call the 89-day moving average if you want to see higher movement, but still expecting a bit of sideways movement in the short term. Looking at MTN, breaking new highs non-stop. I had to go and reverse my Fibonacci's from a low to a high and a high to a low. And just to get the next high on this, I can see 264.51. Didn't expect this breakup to happen so fast, but the share is doing excellent at this moment and it's still trading far above the 21-day moving average. Looking at your Bollinger Bands on the top, broke it, so we could expect like this breakup here, a bit of a sideways. Let's see where it can take us in the short term. Vodacom on the top of the Bollinger Band here, testing previous highs close to the level of 134, 135. Calling up my moving averages here again of 21.89, 200, trading far above the green line of the moving average here. So on the top here, we need to see what direction will be in the short term, definitely. Looking at IPL, that's Imperial. I'm going to call up a Bollinger Band here. Low is definitely 189, tested a few times, currently testing this 194 levels, and we need to see if it breaks 194. Next high is 196, but still slight in a sideways pattern here. Petrol prices, it's a logistic company, very well. It's almost you need to track your vehicle sales, especially on this part here. Company that's going sideways, we'll track it for the short term, not something big now. Discovery, looking at Discovery on the top of this positive channel here, on the high of 103.58 Rand. If this one needs to come down, needs to break this 100 Rand to go further down, most probably to about 97, 98, but not enough, something to look at for this time period in this positive channel. Let's see where the market brings us up, and enjoy your Monday trading.